Okay, anybody please confirm that you can hear me. And voice is okay. Like,
Yes, yes, sir.
okay. So what I want to do is like for the front end, many of you might have been starting like or might have been started with CDN and all, but I want to use CLI, right? Why? If you say CDN, there might be some what somewhat restriction and that sort of thing for features and all, just to overcome it, and it will be a more systematic and uh, what uh, more featureful way to do, right? If you are using CLI. So for that, what we're doing will be needing npm and Node.js, right? Those are the requirements that you need to have in your system, or else your CLI won't work. So firstly, we'll see how you can install that. In the next thing, I'll show you two ways. Either you use Vue or Vue CLI, okay, to create the app. Again, Vue ties up with White. Okay, let's come to that in a later part. For now, what you can do is, if you can see my screen, I have done some changes, like for my backend. Previous day, it was like I created that categories table and all, and we started off with the APIs, like to see in how APIs were working and whatnot, and yeah, that will be it. Next thing, I created some more APIs so that I can like use those to showcase how we can connect our class system to like our backend server to our front end server. So some more APIs and all, some basic CRUD APIs again. The same way, like the categories API, like the APIs for category is just copy pasted for like, or what I would say in a better word is like uh, transformed into the product categories. Same thing, same idea, everything same. Okay. So app security and all those are same. Again, I have like declared out some roots for the classes and all. And yeah, configuration stays same. Generate token is up to me. You do not need to have that. Init app, like what I have done is like previous day till like till the last day, we have till this first line 35 where we are creating some roles and adding some like adding some users to our app. Right. Now that we have the users, what I have done is added some demo data to our tables. Like, that can be category, product, shopping cart, order, and order item and all those okay. This is what I have done and just saved it to our database, right? So that we can use that data. Okay. Now that we are aware, almost everything is same. What I want is to install npm and all. Like, if anyone likes to volunteer, I can like have their screen and they can uh, work with me, or else I need to use my WS or okay. Okay. Anyone. So next. No one is up, so what I will
Yes.
do is use my own PowerShell and WSS that I can serve this. Okay. Now that if you can see, like if you are using WSS, then you might be aware of the commands and all that can be that you can know from WSL help, right? Multiple types of command. So over here, what I'm doing is I'm listing out the distributions that I have in my like I already have in my PC, like I have installed it in my PC. So what I'll do, I'll just remove Ubuntu 24 point like 22.404 and reinstall it so that I can show what a first Ubuntu like installing a phrase or something. Yes. So for that, what I can do is WSL and register. 0.04. Now, using this command, we'll delete everything like all the files in Ubuntu 22.04. So be here before you delete anything. Okay. Now that we don't have that, we can check it out like WSL test and okay. So what I will do is WSL install Ubuntu 22.04. So it will create a fresh copy of that. Okay. Now that it is installed, I need to create a username or something. So that's it. Password. Okay. Okay. Now that we are in, so what I want to do is okay. For installing npm and all, there is a easy way and there is a hard way. Like you can use the version documentation and all, you can like have it, or else there is a easier way that is following this instruction guide. That is uh, this one, like free code camps. I can share it in the chat box. Like, use it. It gives us with some of the like some of the commands and we'll be done. Okay. First thing you need to update your apt packages, right? So firstly update. It will like fetch out everything from like from the server and store it. Like it is kind of the requirement.txt for your backend, and this one is like pip install minus r requirement.txt. So it will install all the requirements into your system. Okay. After those are done, we want to install the curl. Again, it is a we have used it before, so it's kind
Hello,
of
sir.
yeah.
So if we have npm and node.js, so how to check its version number?
npm minus v node minus v.
Node hyphen v.
No, if you are using hyphen v, then it should be version. This is
Okay.
node minus v, npm minus v.
Okay. So sir, I have npm 10.2.4. Is
Then
that
it's
correct?
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So these commands are totally if you are like you don't have it, then only it will be used. Okay, never mind. You can just start off with the commands. Okay. So first thing is updating. So apt update. Now that we have that, I'm saying should upgrade with the minus one. So we are saying just we are just saying yes, you install it, or else it will be asked over here. installing curl, saying that yes, we agree, install it. Okay, now that we have curl installed, I will be proceeding for the next step, that is using curl and getting the what using this API to install everything of NVM in our computer, right?
So you are using curl command to install npm
NVM,
and
Node
VM.
Version Manager. Yes,
Node what?
Node Version Manager.
Do we have to also do that? Install that
Yeah,
nvm?
yeah. See, if you have NPM and Node, then it's fine.
I
You
have
can just
npm.
proceed.
Hmm.
Then no need.
Okay.
But if you are following this, the link that I have said, then follow the steps.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now that we have installed NPM, what we will do, we will just install the latest version of Node, right? And that is this one. So Node is done, and that should also install npm. If you see, we are getting two commands, that is node minus v. If I use this, I'm getting the version for node and the same thing for npm, like same way for npm. Okay, so now that we have like these two commands you can use to check if you have node and npm. If not, please follow this guide. It's very easy. Okay,
So can you tell the command to upgrade this npm and node?
it was something like nvm install in place of LTS, it should be latest or something. Wait,
Let me
NVM
check.
update. So you can get the latest versions like in Node. Just that the command is like, okay, use this one to get the current link, current version link. Okay, now that you're on that link, you can say it out like select the option to be
For upgrading, sir, which command we will be using?
the same way we'll be using NVM. That is what. Okay, Linux and NVM. Select the options as the version that you want to select, like that you want to install. Then in the next step is okay. Share my screen. Okay. If you are on this link that I have shared, you can just go ahead for the package manager. Select the current version that you want to install. For example, I have this one LTS one, right? If you want to install 22.3.0, you can just select it, select Linux over here, and select in NVM over here. Okay. After you have done it, you can just directly copy everything, like copy, click to cover, like copy to the clipboard, and just go ahead and paste it over there, like Control V. No need to do anything. It will paste multiple lines, and you just run the command, and it will install everything, and you can see the correct command, like see the version. Okay, we can skip this step that because we already have NVM installed, so you can just start from here.
Hello Anchit, a small quick doubt. I have this same versions that the version that you installed here, so they are fine, right? No need to
Yeah,
upgrade.
of course. Oh,
No
it's
need
fine.
to. Yeah. Okay.
I- Is it okay if I have the some older versions? I mean,
Yeah, okay. That will be okay if like
I have
for
npm. I have
UCLI and
version
all, we
2.4.
might be requiring any version above 18 or something, or starting from 18, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
No, so for Node I have 20, version 20, and for
Then it's
NPM I have version 10, 10.2,
yes, 20 most probably you are having this LTS version, so it will be mostly
20.11.1.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now that we have, so what you can do is view CLI install CLI. You can come to the official guide and you can follow this, like this command npm install -z at the red view slash CLI. So what it will do, it will install view CLI onto your system. For example, okay, I'm sharing this
Okay.
from if I use this npm install, you can see. So if I use this npm install -the view CLI, what it will do, it will install the view CLI onto my system. Okay. There is one more way that you can use it. For the timing, let it install, and let's see the another way that we can use. Okay, so you can follow this guide, right? You can install everything and it will be fine. Then in the next step, we'll be using this creating a project. Okay, so the basic command is to use view create and with a directory name, a project name or something. That can be anything. For example, I can give it test or something. Okay, that is fine. So this is the command view create and the project name. Okay. You can use this. We'll be going through the steps and all. It will be okay. And the other thing that is like you see view and start. Yeah, we got it. And yeah. Okay. If you see, this is the official view JS page or view JS documentation, right? If you see, it also provides us with a command. Either is okay. If you are using Vue CLI for creating the project, it's okay. If you are using Vue.js, again, it's okay. Just that Vue tied up with White, that is this one, to provide that functionality. White and Vue CLI are almost similar. The basic idea for them are almost similar. So you can use either. Again, Vue tied up with White to create it. So anyways, in the backend, the White will be used to create the project. Okay.
So this command is to create the view project, right? npm
Yes,
create
yes.
view with
npm
the
create view at the rate latest will use
and,
White to create the project, and we are
okay.
using Vue CLI.
And for installing view CLI, we have that command
Yes, this
npm
command npm,
install.
yes, npm install -c at the rate Vue CLI, and you can check the version with this command.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a newer version for npm. We can update that in this. Actually, you can't see my screen. Wait. So we have Vue. If you see Vue version, uh, Vue version, and I am having a like have installed Vue CLI version. So what I can do is Vue create a project name, let it be what test, right? Okay, system to restore views. Okay, yes, I guess. Okay, so now that we are like started the view CLI command, what you can do, we are getting three options, right? If you are using presets, then it's okay. You can go with the default versions. And again, view 3 is the preferred version to use. Okay. If you are going with the presets, then it's okay. You just click enter and it will create the project. But I don't want to use the default presets. Why is that? Because default presets come with ESLint, and I do not want to use ESLint because ESLint throws up many error that we need to be very good with our code, not very good with our code. Rather, our code should be with least number of errors, right? For example, if you see in HTML, you might not have a end tag, and what the browser will do is it will just uh, allow you to, or at least show you the page, right? So over there, what it is done, like it is overlooking your error, right? Same way, if you are doing any small minor error, then it will throw an error, and ESLint will like won't work. Like it won't allow your project to start up. So that's why I do not want to use ESLint. Okay, and I will go ahead with manually select features. The features that I want to keep is Babel, view router. Again, for selecting these options, what you need to do, you need to use space. Right? Please do not press enter. Okay, view router, and I want to remove linter. These two options I'm proceeding with. You can like, have multiple other options like progressive app and all that can be also done. You can just proceed with that. Okay. After you have selected the desired features, what you can do, you can just press enter and you'll be taken to select the JS version, Vue.js version. I want to proceed with 3, so yes. And yes, I need that history router, like history mode for our router. If you have seen in multiple bank sites or net banking sites, or like they do not allow you to proceed or go to the previous page, right? In the same way, in multiple government websites too, it's restricted. The same way, if you are not using history mode for router, like you can't go back. Okay. Again, keeping the configs and all in package.json. Okay. And do I want this preset for the future? No. And this will install the node modules and create the structure for it. I have done here, but you could have done it in the directory that we are maintaining. Okay, no worries, you can do it over there. Just start it up.
Can you tell us these commands again? I mean, after completion of
Okay,
an
okay. We'll show that. We'll show that. Let me just have this one done and you can. Acha, okay. We'll let it happen and we can just proceed for our one. You can see my VS4 screen. I'm in day 4, right? Day 4 have multiple directories and all. I'm keeping the front end directory 2 and V and day 4. I'm using view create front end, like naming the directory as front end, and it will like view will create everything, all the like will create the project structure for me inside front end directory. Okay, naming as a front end. Okay, it's telling me to select the features. I'll be selecting manually. The features that I want to keep is Babel, router, remove linter, can keep PWA and all. It's fine. Just proceed. Okay. I'm selecting view 3, saying that yes, I need the history mode on. I am keeping the configs and all in package log.json, and I'm not keeping this preset for future. Okay. You can see all the things. Like I selected Babel and router, view 3, history mode as on, configs in package. package.json and saving this for. I'm not saving this for the future. Like saving, like I'm not saving this preset. Okay. Because this is not the, the same way you can use that view create and all that. Like npm create view at the latest. It was npm create, right? Yeah, npm create. If you use this, okay, first cd Day4, then okay. So what it will do, it will again give you a prompt if you are using this command, that npm create view at the latest. This one is from Vue.js documentation, and the other one is from the Vue CLI documentation. Okay, like using Vue CLI and using white. So in this one, it is using the white in the packet. So what we are doing over here is we are just, you can name anything. Just going ahead with the default name, Vue project, and again it will ask you multiple features and all. Okay, I'm selecting no for TypeScript, no for JSX, yes for view router, Pinia I don't want, white test I don't want, end-to-end testing features no for now, lint no, and development tools okay no, everything is no. Anyways, you can just install it later on also. Install the later, like the preferred libraries and all. Okay, now that if you see the Vue CLI thing is going on, but the white one is done. Why is that? It haven't installed this node modules and all. You see, if you see my Day4 directory, the front end directory is created, but it is installing the rest of the creating the rest of the parts of the project. And if you see, Vue project is already done. Why is that? But if you see node module, like there will be a directory named as node module. It is not there still. So what you need to do is npm install. Okay, running this command will do the rest of the part, and it will just start up. Okay, now that you can see the Vue CL, I think, is already done. And if you compare these two, see, we have node modules, public folder, and some other directories are not. And in Vue project, the white one is also creating node modules, and the similar way the other files and directories. Okay, so you can compare both the things are what almost same, nothing different, just two different services that you can use, either white or Vue CLI. Okay, just coming.
White comes with npm, sir.
See, white and all, the, yeah, you can say it's from it comes with npm. So you are not installing it, rather it is an online service and you are using it, something like that.
Okay.
See, so to start up the front end server, you need to use these two commands. Firstly, you need to go in the cd direct, like the front end directory. Okay. Now that you are in the front end directory, you want to use npm run serve, this command, and it will start the front end server for me. See, it will give you the net, like the port numbers and all. Okay. So you can just use the underline to see. It's on 80, right? 80, 80. If I do a get request and preview, it's not showing up. Okay, fine. Let's do a get request from the browser. Go to localhost 8080. You can see this one is created by view CLI, right? This is the nav bar. You can press on the different buttons and all. It will be like load a different page. These all are done by router view. The one you are already using. If you are using CDN, then you are using view route like router view, and again same thing over here. Like these are the router links, right? And this is the page. Okay. If you see, I might have already started up the you see like a white server. Yes, this one is by white. The npm create view at the latest. The structure and all are different. Just that uh, yeah, these are the difference. Nothing much. Anyways, coming back to the structure and all. What's that? That's right. If you can see the screen, so the structure are same. Like I can explain one structure very briefly and we can proceed. Okay. So node module like contains all the required libraries for our app. It is kind of a in a very like very bad way to say, like it is the virtual environment for our front end. Okay. The same way you are creating the requirement.txt, those are maintained by package.log.json and package.json. So whenever you will be submitting your code, if you see, it will cd day4 ls minus l, and if you see, it's almost okay. It's not showing the size. So we'll do this one, check the size and let you guys know. First directory June 24 bootcamp 1. Okay, the front end directory is like what? How many KBs? Acha, MBs. It's
Yes,
almost near around 50, above 60 or something. Okay. Uh,
sir. I think for me it is more than 100 MB only, and around
yeah.
120.
So, anyways, if you are installing the or having the pages and all, it will just trigger up the site. So, what you need to do is you need to remove or directly just delete this node modules. Please do not remove the package.json and package.json. You want to keep those so that whenever you have deleted node modules, what it will do, it will like, for example, let me just delete the node modules from here. Like if you see, let me install Axios, npm install Axios. Like how you install, for example, Flask or Flask security to something like that. So same way, npm install Axios, the library name. This is what I want to use. Okay, you see, it will run and it was installed. Right, 10 more packages were added. Again, it was added. If you see, if you come to package.json, it was added over here dependency. Okay, Axios. Basically, it's saying either 1.7.2 or above it. Okay. So now, for example, I have created my project and I am about to submit my project. So what I will do is I will just remove this node modules. Okay. Directly delete this. And now your project, I'm totally sure it will be below 10 MB for sure. Like at least the front end will be below 10 MB, like less than 10 MB. It might be less than 4 MB or more lesser than that. Okay. Now that we have removed node modules, like whenever during your Viva, what they will do, they will check some code, right? After the checksum verification, you will be asked to install the virtual environment. Anyways, you will be like, for example, what I can do is come back to CD and over here pip freeze, and you will use this command to create the requirement.txt directory, right? Requirement.txt. Okay, if you see the directory was like the file was created. Now, for example, you don't have the virtual environment. So you are done with the checksum verification was done, then the proctor will allow you to install the dependencies. Over here, what you need to do, firstly, the backend directory, like for example, day4 is my backend directory. Okay, and front end is already in my backend directory. So you can like have any structure, it's fine. Okay. For now, what I will do, I will in this command in this terminal, I will say pip install minus a requirement.txt. Okay, and in the next terminal, what I will do is cd day4 cd view project. If you see, I already have this package log.json. Okay, I do not need to do anything else. I will just say npm install, run this command, and it will go through the package log.json and it will create the node modules. Okay, it was very quick. I guess it had the in the cache or something, but it may it may take some time, but it's okay. Okay, it will create the node modules and you can just proceed for npm run dev. Again, this is one is white, so it might be different. For white, it is npm run dev, and if you are using Vue CLI, it is npm run serve. Okay, you see, like my front end server can start up. Okay, but I got some error for this one. And what was this? Okay, pie carrier and what? So where did it come from? I don't have that. Okay, that might be some requirements for some other library. So this might not work. So what I can do is install class server with class SQL. Alchemy security. Okay. What was the other one? Okay, I can just use this one. Okay, security 2. Okay, I can check Python 3 app.py. If I can run it, okay. Okay. So we have all the libraries for now. Like, if you are getting any type of problem, you can just proceed for the manual way, right? So now that that node modules can be regenerated, I can stop this one. I can close this. Okay. Coming to the front end. So node modules is like VNV, the virtual environment, package.json, package.json, similar to requirement.txt. Now that if you are using Vue CDN, like the CDN way, you have to create that index.html, right? The same way this like it is also done for this case. Like you see in the public directory, I have index.html. Okay, and inside this index.html, I have that div, like double quote that div. Okay, with an ID. And if you see, if I come to src directory, you can see assets, components, router, views, and whatnot. Okay, in main.js, the app is being created. In app.view, the rest of the part is over here. You see, right? like the templates and all the major like this is kind of the what the terminal location or uh, yeah, kind of the terminal location for the div, this div. Okay, this div will be populated from app.view, and app.view will in return be populated by router view. That can be some component, that can be some views. It is anything is okay, right? And again, we are using view that router. Okay, so main.js creates the app and connects everything up with our app. And app.view is like the terminal location for the pages and all. And you see, I have some component and some views. Okay, about view, home view, and in router, like the index.js inside router. Here over here, we are declaring the roots. If I want to compare, for example, what I can say is in my backend directory, I have roots, right? Multiple type of roots, and it contains like multiple files in the root directory. It contains multiple logics and all. Same way, consider view to be our routes directory, and multiple file contains multiple type of what logic and all. And if you remember in our app.py, we declared the roots for each API, right? Same way in our router, we are declaring out the roots, and yeah, we are using the components. If you see, I have imported from the home view.view. It was exported, basically the name, and connected it to index bar. Same way for about, just the format is different, like import format. Anything will work. Now that we like any doubt about the structure and all. सारी लोग हैं, ऊपर से तो सबने कर ही लिया. First, what about you? Have you started with the front end? Kohil, no. Okay. So this might be new to you. So, okay.
Anchit, just quick small doubt. Uh, so it is absolutely necessary to use view store in the project, or it is only required and we can use something like that? Because router, I think it is necessary. Without it, I think we cannot navigate the pages. But for view store, it is
View store.
yeah, view store is absolutely necessary or only
So why
requirement
do you use what is the like? Why do we need view store?
just to store the data which is
Acha,
common
Vuex
to
store or Vuex,
yeah
Vuex.
VX
Okay,
store.
no. See, you can use Vuex store or not. Again, it's totally up to you.
Up to
I am not using Vuex, so it's
yeah
not a
yeah
core requirement or nothing like
yeah
that. No,
sure. That's actually a confusion because saw some projects they have used Vuex store, some are not, so that's a confusion. So it is
no,
not
no,
absolute.
no, no. Vuex no, is not a core requirement.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
See, again, I will be using Axios, so there is no requirement as like you have to use. We only have to use fetch and all, right?
okay, okay. So yeah,
I guess Axios was covered in the lecture, right? I remember correctly.
actually, what I remember is during my session, I think Axios, what session I attended, I think is not covered. But yeah, I think it is same. Fetch and Axios,
No,
that
no, in the
almost.
coursework only. I guess in some that like screencast video, Tejas Jian sir
Yeah,
might cover
yeah.
Axios.
In
Not sure.
screencast might be, yeah, correct.
Yeah,
In
might.
screencast might be.
Mm. Yes. So as of now, I have environment and like I have the project structure and I can start it up. And all. Okay.
And just again one small quick doubt. Actually, I've started, so I'm using Vue CLI, right? And you also shown regarding Vite part. So is there any difference or both are fine?
Both
Vue
are
CLI,
fine. Like if you are using npm or yarn, both
yeah.
the things are same. No, both are
Okay.
not same. Rather, the use of npm and yarn is same, right?
So
In case of our project.
So it will not cause any, in terms of
No harm,
functionalities,
no
both,
harm.
yeah, normal, it
No,
not
no,
cause any issue, right? Okay,
nothing.
okay.
Or even you can, yeah, no problem. Yeah. The next thing what I want to cover is like, okay, can just again showcase this page if I can don't remember if I missed that. But so this one was my page. Is getting changed, and if you see this nav bar is from app.view. This one I can add a p tag over here just to showcase that test from app.view. If I refresh, see this all parts are from app.view, and the rest of the part is from the views that are like from about view and home view. Okay, everything. This is from home view, this one is from about view. Right. So coming to app, if I can just remove this, and you see we are using router view, right? If I come to about view, you can see we are having basically we are just template, and that is just using a, or having a h1 tag and saying this is an about view page. Again, the same way we are having home view, but it will be a bit different. That is, if you see, I have a div tag, and inside it I have an image tag, right? Okay, you can see. This is what I was talking about, like navbar, and inside this I had that p tag for the line, right? Below it is the router view, and the router view is being populated from about view and home view. If I go in about view, you are like having a h1 tag, only a h1 tag, and saying this is an about page. The same way is for home view, just a different orientation. If you see, you're having a div tag, and inside the div tag we are having a image tag, and this image tag is used to showcase that big symbol. Okay, big view symbol and some scripts and all. Okay, and if you see, there is one more thing, that is a hello world tag, and with a variable message we are passing welcome to your Vue.js app. Yeah, just a second. Coming back to the script portion, we are naming this page as home view. Okay, and we are using hello world as our component, right? Hello world, where I from getting that, like if you see components, we have hello world.view. Again, we are using that, like if you have used the Python libraries, it was like from some and some library you are importing so and so function. Okay, over here what you are saying, import hello world from @components and hello world.view. Okay, @ is a alias to src directory. Okay, component and hello world.view. Okay, going to the hello world.view page, we are having a vast template, right? So you see in our h1 tag, this is the message variable that is being populated from here, home view. We are supplying the message, right? This one is been shown by the h1 tag. Every other thing is hard coded, so it's fine. And there are some style component at all. Okay, the style is again totally to you, and you can like make it, use it. If you are not willing to use it, it's again okay. Everything is fine. Okay, so we come to the script tag. Same way we are naming this file as hello world. Like if you remember, this hello world is coming from here. Okay, now that if you remember, props. It was, I guess, week 6 or 7. I don't remember specifically, but you can just go ahead and see the lecture about props. Message is the prop, like how we are populating it, how we are getting the value for it. Everything is from that lecture or from with that logic. Okay. Please, I will recommend go through the lecture and get to know more about props and all. For now, what I will do is I will just create some more views. Token view register view dot okay, no views, and let it be taking in. What I can do, I can just come to about view and login view and register view and name it differently. If I come to login and let me name it login, and this is a login page, right? This is the template, and what I will do, I will come back to router and I use this same thing, just that I'll be naming it differently. Let it be slash login, and the name for this path is login. Okay, this is the path, and we are associating a name for this path. Okay, path, and it should be login view, and if I save this, see, it was restarted. The npm server was restarted. Now that we have it, so what you can do, you can just go ahead to login view, like go to the path slash login, and you can see this is a login page. Okay, not a very different or a very like very difficult thing. What I will do is I will add one more nav link and send it to path as login and home as like, so it as login. Okay, see, home login about the same way you can do for register. Let me just use a different format. Let it be register, and this is a register page. In the next thing, what I want to do, I want to use script and I have to export default and name it as register. Okay, or else register. Okay, let it be register. Again, coming back to the router, what I want to do, I want to import register that I just now gave the name register, use it in the router. I want to say from at the rate views. I'm getting that from register.view. Okay, so I have imported register. What is the next step that I can do is like the same way it's done for home, right? I can say that path will be register, name will be register, and component to be used is register. Okay. Now that we have it, let me just add it to our nav bar. Let it be register and register. Okay. Anyways, you can use names and all. That is also fine. Save this. Okay. The server got restarted and there is no error. So I can see. You can go to home view, login view, register view, and whatnot. Okay. I guess this is clear. We are just using some views, like creating views, naming it something like either you name it or you import it directly and give a path to it, declare a path to it, and use it, right? So, okay, one more thing is that I updated in the nav part. Okay, Other than that, nothing different, nothing new, same thing, same old logics and all. Okay, fine. Until this point, what we have done is created some views and added some passwords. Okay, what else can be done? For example, if you remember, if you have that login page from your Mad1 project, you had that HTML form, right? The same thing we'll be doing over here. You can get a form and let it be an empty. Okay, no default, nothing. Okay. So what can be the fields? Like, okay, give me. For example, there is a username label and an input field for it. Same thing for password, a label named as password and an input field and a submit button. This was it, right? Save, and if I come to the login page, see the same thing. Just that you can add PR and all, and it will be focused correctly. PR and BR, something like this. Okay, same old. Just that what we'll do previously, you might have had like something like post, like method as post, and you are sending the, like you are getting it from the backend API. Like, there were two methods. One was to get the template, basically a get method to render out the template, and in the same API or same endpoint, you are having a post method that will capture the data, right? Over here, we are not having that. Rather, our front end is serving the pages, like front end server, and the back end server will respond, like will catch the data and respond with some data, right? For that, what we want to do, we want to declare out or have methods, right? For that, again, we have to use the script tag, and inside the script tag, we need to have data. Okay, data. That is what also we have to cover. Okay. For now, if you see username, I can write any username, any password, anything. Okay, but that is not being handled. That is only inside this input tags, right? We need to get that in our script tag. How to do that? Like data, and if you see, like for now, it is throwing me an error. Uh, okay, okay, fine. You can have this name or not. It's okay. Now, what I'm saying, I want to have some data that is from like the from view perspective. Okay, consider this to be the HTML perspective for this page, and this is like anything in the script and all is the view part. Okay, for now I'm having two variables. One is username, another one is password. Those are the view variables. So over here, what I want to do is, if you remember v model, right? I want to say this dot username, and for this one v model, this dot password, password, yes, this dot password. So what it will do, if you write anything to this input tag, it will populate the username variable, and the same way for password. Okay, if you write any password, it will populate it over here. If you see, if I do this correctly, I can use mounted and console log. This is login page, and the next thing is log, uh, log, and say this dot username. It will basically it will print out the variables, right? This dot pass. See, this is the console. Okay, just clear out the console. Okay, so hmm, no, rather let me do one thing. Instead of mounted, let me say, or let me declare out some methods, right? For now, you consider that V model will populate the variables, right? The view variables. And the next thing what I want to do is I want to have some methods. Methods, what it will do, it will just mm, uh, for us for the login page, what methods will be doing is that it will be taking the data from the variables and send it to our backend server, right? How it will do, I will be coming to it later on. For now, what I am saying is I'm having a function and I want to call it if I press this button. Okay. So what it will do is that here is the logic for this function or this method. Yeah. Okay. I guess I need to have one more curly bracket and it is okay. Yeah. So what it will do is it will print out the it will log the variable username from the console, right? The same thing for the username. Sorry, password. Password and password. Okay. So if you see the console, it's empty, right? I can have the username something and something. For example, okay. Now the function is not called. If you see, if I click on login, what it will do by default, it's set as submit, right? So there is one catch that you need to remember. If you are using any button and that button type is submit, there is a default function from the browser only. If a submit button is being pressed, so what it will do some request and all that type of that get type of request or post type of request, and it will refresh the page. Okay, reload the page. That's what we do not want to do. If you see, it is saying that it is just passing the variables as path variables and all, right? That submit button, it is like it is being done by the submit button. Okay, so what we want to do is type as button, and we want to say that at click. If I click on that button, it will call this method, that is login. Okay, this is the one, or else let me say it as login function. The login function will be called. If I press on that button, if I refresh, you see the terminal is empty, right? So what is the thing that I want to have on my console is console log username, the username and the password. If I see now and password, okay. If I click on login, it will just trigger the login function, and the login function will in return console log the details, right?
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Sorry, the screen is not visible. We are on the login page, and you can see, for example, username and some password. You see, the console is empty, right? If I press on login now, what it will do, it will just trigger that login function, and this will be console log, right? The username and password. So you see, username and some password. Okay, I can zoom in. Okay. So have you got the login function? Right? Is it okay? Any doubt? Hello, hello. Okay, I haven't seen like We haven't seen that part where we are using the submit button as like the button type as submit. So if you are using button type as submit, what we'll do is, okay, so now I have changed the button type to be submit, type submit. So what you can do is give some username and password. And if I press on this button, you see the page was refreshed. The fields are empty. Nothing is on the console log. And why is that? Because there is a default function from the browser that I was talking about, and it would refresh the page. Okay. If you see the part, it's been populated with this username equals to something and password is equals to something. Okay. Those are by the default functionalities from the browser. And if we are having a submit button, the browser will do this for us. Okay. So there are two options. Either you change the type as button or something, this one as button, or keeping it as prevent. So what you need to, or if you are keeping that as submit, what you need to do as prevent. Okay. Yes. That will like remove the default functionality. Rather using submit, what you can do, you can just keep it as button, and we are getting as we are just saying that we want to run a function, and that is on click, and we can just say it out the function. Okay, user function. Is this okay? Like,
So, sir, you created this login page using Vue and Vue CLI, right? Where you have written all this login
yes.
in that page.
Consider the script tag to be the view part and the templates and all, mostly the HTML part,
The template
along
is
with
from the
mixed up
HTML.
with the, sorry,
So this template is HTML, right?
yeah, HTML template. I
Hmm.
just use form and all. Just that again, same form. We are having some of the attributes, like for example username, we are saying it or attaching it with our view variable, that is username, with along by using view model or v model, right?
Hmm.
Same way for password, attaching it to this one, like this input fields. And on the button we are saying that if I click on that button, it will trigger this function named as login function. Okay. And login function will in return do something. So for now, what it is doing, it is just or just printing out the username and the password on the console. Okay. So over here, what we want to do is we want to have the username and the password and send it to our backend API. You remember in our app.py we have this login API, right? Login endpoint, and what it will do is, if I go to the root or.py, firstly it will take the JSON, and from the JSON it will consider the email and password, and it will do some computation and all, will do some function and all, and it will return me a token, email, user ID, and role. Okay, this is what I want to do. So coming back to our login function, again you can use fetch. It's okay. For just to write less code, I want to use Axios. Okay, npm install Axios. Not less code, but it's in fetch you have to take care of so many things. For Axios, you just have to do a get request, and every other thing is being handled by Axios only. So a hectic, and I would say less prone to error. Okay. Now that you have installed Axios, I can just use it from, like, I can say in the script tag, what I want to do is import Axios from Axios. Okay, along with this semicolon. What it is saying is from the Axios library, you import this Axios function. Okay. Now that we have imported it in our login view and in our login view, what I can do, I can use it over here. But password. The next step I can say that I want to use Axios and do a post request to HTTP. It's giving me HTTP. Let's have that HTTP 5000 localhost 5000, and it is as login, right? So for now, we are just doing a post request and sending the data. Then I am saying, then if there is a response, I will just console log it. Okay. If there is anything, if there is any error, we'll just console log it. Okay. Same thing. Response. Now are you sending the response? So there is so many things. Okay. Let me have one more message as one more field as message. Give me login successful. Okay. Okay, this will be returned. So this JSON data will be returned to me if I am doing a correct login. Okay. Let me restart the front end server and start up my backend server. Right. So now what I am doing is I'm doing a post request to this API and sending the email ID and password as as JSON or in body. Okay. And I'm getting a response. If I get a response, if I get a basically if I get a good response, that I am console logging it. Or else it will be, if I am getting any bad response or any error, again it will be again like logged, console logged. Okay. So it can go again. Just say it out. Error and with a comma. Oh, okay, comma is not in there, rather a plus. Let me say response dot message. That is what sending. Okay, that should that would give me. Okay. Let me just change my screen to so okay. So it is still saying as there is one thing I have changed the variable named as email, but I have not done the changes. Let me just quickly change it. Email. Okay. So it was changed, right? Let me use a correct email. So let me use a wrong email, right? Admin at I have a user as admin@a.com. Let me use abc.com. Okay, and it would give me an error and password something. If I do it, please see I got an error. This error was printed from the console log that, if you remember, catch the. Okay, let me just say my full screen. Yes. If you remember this, over here we are saying cache error, the error, and the error that we are getting. You can say the cache error. Okay. We gave the wrong email ID. Again, that means it's something, something, and send. Again, see, cached error. There was an error that the request failed with the status code of 40, right, 401. That can be, that is saying me unauthorized, but that error handling can be done more correctly. Like if I go to my auth.py, I could have said that, see, like over there, it's giving me 401, but it should be 404, right? Email ID not present. Again, see, 404. Right. Now, if I give a correct password, email ID and password, correct credential at the rate admin at the rate a.com, and the password would be admin. If I do a request now, okay, it is giving me undefined because I handled it very poorly. I guess it won't be like response dot data will be there. I guess. Let me just print the response, right? I print it. Okay. Admin at the rate a.com, and I'm doing a login. Okay, I got that, and inside data I have everything, the message, and also it should be response dot data dot message, right? Saving this, and I can do it again. Admin at the rate a.com, and password be admin. Okay, if I do login again, you can see. So these are from this line, this two line. Okay, before the Axios request. After the Axios request, I am console logging that login successful. Okay. This message again was from auth.py and this API. Okay. Login successful. Is this okay? Is this doable? Like, is this first coil?
Yeah, sir.
Getting the data, sending it to a backend, and getting the response. Okay. Now that we have got the response, what I want to do is, if you remember the previous thing, let me just console log it again. Console.log in place of response. Let me just print the response. Okay. Restarted. If I go and log in again, the message was printed and the response data was printed, right? Now, if you see, if you go through the data, you can see I'm getting some fields, right? Email, ID, message, role, token. So what you want to do is that for the token based authentication, you want to save this token someplace, right? You might be willing to save the other fields too, like for example email, ID, role, and again, if you are not saving this, then also it's fine. But anyways, we want to or we have to save the token in some place, right? For that, what we want to do inside application, if you see, there is storage and all. I just clear this out. There are multiple type of storage, cookies and whatnot. Okay, if you have gone to some website, they might ask you to ask your permission to use the cookies or something, right? So those cookies and all those details are saved over here. If you come to application and go ahead and click on this to some website, you can see the fields that are being stored for you. Okay, same way, what we want to do is for token based thing, either you can store it in the session or in the local storage. If you are storing it in the session, if you close the tab, the session storage will be cleared out. So the best thing is to store it in the local storage. Okay, not like not closing the tab, rather refreshing will clear out the session, I guess. Yeah. Rather, what we want to do, we want to store the token in our local storage, right? For that, what you can do is, if like the response, either you can use the message, or else what you can do, status equals to 200. Like if you remember this one, I'm sending it as 200, right? So what I'm getting, if the response status was 200, then what I want to do is local storage dot set item, right? This function. So this will be the variable name or something you can consider, or token, and that value for it is from response dot data dot token. Okay. Same way I can store the, like, I can store the role, user role, user email, user ID. For that email, this one as, so this would be role, this would be email, and this would be ID. Okay. If I save it now, what it will do is, if I come back to my browser and you see my console, it's empty, right? I'm doing a login at the rate a.com and password is admin. If I do a login, I got, like, login was successful, and you can just skip that part, like console logging the response. And in my application, if you see, the local storage was populated, right? The key was user ID. You see, user underscore ID, user underscore email, user underscore role, authentication token, everything is there, right? And the same way, the values are stored. One admin at the rate a.com, and the token. Okay. Now that we have a login function, and okay, this will be our login function. You can add some more fields, like if you are doing an admin login, it can be different, or else we can have a very simple login page, and this will be it. Okay, fine. This is what I want to do in my login page, nothing more than this. For now that we have a login page and the authentication token was saved and some other details was saved, I want to handle it if I do a logout, right? So what I can do, I can just, what? For example, let me have a anchor tag, right? It won't be two, rather register, in place of register, just login, and this will be a. Right. If I save this and go back to my page, close the index, like the spec window, you can see login I'm getting, right? So styling and all can be handled. Okay. For now, I'm getting an anchor tag as login. Or yeah, over here, what I want to do in the script tag, I want to say it as, like, I want to have a method, right? Methods and logout. Okay. Either you manually do this, like remove item, remove item, remove item, or else local storage dot, there was some clear or something. What was that? Yeah, clear. Yeah, anything can be used. So what I'm saying is, at click, I want to use the logout function. This would be logout, not login. Let's see if it is working or not. Okay, it compiled me with an error. And brackets method is closed and okay, fine. So if you see my inspect window, the local storage is yet populated. Okay, if I again, if you see, if I refresh to, it won't get deleted. Okay, it is being refreshed, but it is not getting deleted. So during logout, we need to delete it, right? For that, what we can do, if I press on this logout thing, see, this function was called. Again, these all are commented out, right? So what I am saying, to clear out the local storage, right? So what login does is that login populates the local storage, like you have the token in your local storage, and logout, what it does is just clear out the local storage. As anything like any further more is rest like secured by token. For example, if you see all my other than this register and login, all other APIs requires token, right? Or else it won't respond. Therefore, if you don't have a token, then like you cannot proceed. So logging out, like you can, like for the backend purpose, you do not need to do anything. Rather, in the front end, you remove the token and you are done. Yes, almost. So this will be what else to go. Like you can have a register page or something, and you can register same way, form and something, some fields and all, and you are sending the data back. Let me just very quickly do it so that we can. What I want to do is just copy paste this. Where is the register here? Okay. Same thing, just that I am changing the name over here. Basically, I will declare a different name. Register function, and inside name, firstly, I need to have the data. Okay, after the data is being handled, there would be a comma. Error is gone. There will be a method that is console log. The other console log, what I want to do is an Axios post request. Axios post request to 5000 register API. What fields are needed to register? Let me just check very quickly. For register, I need an email ID and password. Acha, we also need that role, right? For that, what we can do, we can have some type of what drop down menu or something, or else a radio button or something. Let, let's have a drop down menu or a radio button. Anything will work. With this, paste this over here. So what it will do? Okay. User role, right? For roles. Correcting this and the options are value would be one will be manager, another will be customer, right? Manager, and this will be customer. There is some error, and what is that? Okay, scripting error over here. Oh, we did it in the wrong thing. login. So in register, right? And we want to have the role on method is not being closed. Still the error because the post the this thing is not handled correctly. Okay, you can have that. Roles manager customer. If I go back to the window, okay, it's giving me an error. Okay, the model is customer. This not role. It's not after post. We are getting a then response. Yeah, we are getting the data. Set items won't be here. If I'm getting a good response, what I want to do is this dot router dot push. So what it is saying that you use the router and push the current page to slash login. Okay. If statement is closed, response is closed. Okay. Extra. Okay. After then what you are saying, if you are getting a error, that is cached error and okay, fine. So for now it should have restarted, but it is not. And why is that? Okay, there is an error. We need to find that. So method is being closed over here. Register function is here, and what's the error? There will be one more. Yes, we need one more curly bracket. Now, if I see, yeah, everything is running. Okay. Now, if you see, I have an email field, a password field, and a role field. I can choose either. Okay. For example, let me have that as, let's just see the database once. User. Refresh. I have only 3 users. Let me have as test1@a.com and password be test1. Okay. And the role as manager. We haven't changed the button, but it is okay. Stay in the console, and if I click on this button, basically it will trigger a function, and the function will in return respond how we have prepared it. Okay. If I click on, okay, we got an. Acha, if you see that it is saying the error is that Axios is not defined. If you remember our login view, we have imported Axios from Axios, right? But we haven't done that. So the same thing needs to be done. That is P, and it got restarted. Okay, page refreshed, and let's have the console, empty it out. Test1 at the rate a.com. Password be test1. And the role let it be manager. Okay, if I do login, user created successfully, and we are not redirected. Okay. There might be some problem. But for now, the user was created. If you see okay, my database, refresh, yeah, user one was created and with an ID 4. You can check the role assigned to him. Okay, as he was a manager, so there were 2 roles assigned to him. One was manager, another one was customer. Okay, so again, it is my policy, my app's policy, so you can't have anything. You can just assign a single role. That's again acceptable. Again, one more thing, if you remember, it is saying as active as one that I have to configure, that I haven't configured. As a manager role cannot have active status as one, basically true. The admin needs to come in and activate that ID. For that, what we can do is would have added this over here, but okay, we can use user data store dot deactivate user, and we are supplying user. Okay, so what we are saying is that if we are creating a new manager, we are deactivating his ID as a default functionality and assigning role to it. Okay, now if I do it again, let it be test2, same thing manager. If I do it, there was an access error because the server is not running, backend server. Try to log in, and yes, user was created successfully. If I see the database, new user was created and the ID is inactive as of now. So the admin needs to intervene and activate the ID. Okay. Okay. What more? Okay. For now, let it be something like this, and let's end the session over here. Next day, what we will do, we can just have the get requests and all, so that we can populate or have a very basic dashboard page. Okay. Anything if you want to ask. Hello, are you there? Hello, hello. Yeah, try it out once. Uh, I can just push this to the GitHub. And